Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the differences between assignment and novation. This concept is a bit confusing for some people, and even some lawyers don't know the difference, and sometimes I've seen agreements and documents where they are drafted wrongly. Instead of assignment, they say novation. Instead of novation, they say assignment. Now I'm going to first talk about assignment. For assignments, you transfer the benefits to another person, but you retain the burdens. In other words, you keep performing your obligations in the contract, but you transfer some rights to a third party. So for example, if I lend money to John, okay, I lend $1,000 to John, okay, John owes me $1,000. It's a debt. I can assign the debt or the loan to Peter. So instead of John paying me back the $1,000, I do a deed of assignment whereby John pays the $1,000 to Peter. And all I need to do is notify John. I can also assign the cash payouts from life insurance or endowment plans to another person. Since an assignment only transfers the rights under the contract, the rights only, you still retain your obligations under the contract. So for example, if I buy over a company from Jason sells me his company, I'm supposed to pay Jason the sale price in 5 installments, okay? Now, in the sale and purchase agreement for the sale of company, there can be other obligations like you have to keep the employees, you have to do this, you have to not change the company's name, you have to make sure that the company's suppliers and customers are still intact, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm supposed to pay John the purchase price for the company, 5 installments. John can assign the payments to his friend. So instead of paying the installments to John, I pay the 5 installments to his friend. He assigns the debt, okay, to his friend. But the contract for the sale of business between me and John still remains intact. That means I have to perform my other obligations, such as the employee thing, not to change the name of the company, to maintain the suppliers and customers, blah, 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 blah. The assignee, which is John's friend, will not be a party to the contract because the contract is between John and me for the sale of his company. The friend will simply be an assignee, okay? John simply needs to notify me to make the 5 installment payments to his friend. How are assignments done? Assignments are usually done by way of a deed of assignment. Always please enter into a deed of assignment when you're assigning something. I'm currently involved in a high court case, a high court lawsuit, where there was a verbal assignment of a $400,000 loan. And there are a lot of issues about proving whether the loan was indeed assigned or not. It's very difficult. Before you assign a debt or a loan or anything, check the agreement. It is fairly standard for most agreements to contain a no assignment clause. If the agreement contains a no assignment clause, then you have to obtain the consent of the other party before you assign. Now I'm going to talk about novation. Novation is a 3-party contract. It's a transfer of both rights and obligations under a contract to a third party. It's a tripartite agreement between 3 parties. So an example of a novation would be this. I enter into a tenancy agreement with landlord, okay? So the agreement is between landlord and me. But for some reason, my business is not doing well or what, I want to get out of the tenancy agreement. So I find another tenant, John. So John is going to take my place, okay? So I cannot assign the tenancy agreement to him because an assignment merely assigns the rights but not the obligations. So what we would do under these circumstances is to enter into a novation agreement, a three-party agreement between John, me, and landlord. Landlord has to agree to the transfer of all the rights from me to John. So once the tenancy agreement has been novated to John, the tenancy agreement is between landlord and John. For sale of business, I may have contracts with a supplier or a customer. But when I sell my business, I want to novate the contract. The contract is between me and the customer or supplier. I want to novate to the new buyer, the new owner of the company. So we enter into a novation agreement, customer, me, to assign all the rights and obligations to the new owner of the company. How is a novation done? It's usually done by a way of a novation agreement. A novation agreement is a very simple one-page agreement. In fact, you can download it online. Always, for goodness sake, get your contracts done in writing. It's very simple. Just Google novation agreement template. You can get it done online. So thanks for watching this video on the differences between assignments and novation.